Hello my friends, and as always thank you so much for watching my video. Today I'm going to show you the anatomy of a binocular case, and hopefully with this video here you'll be able to understand how they are put together. You can make some yourself, or you can do some repairs. I know I repaired this one here and I'll show you what I did. It came out pretty nice, but in case you want to make something for yourself, you have your own telescope, or you can do the same kind of process there, just in different shapes, because nowadays you see these binocular cases that are just bags, they're just black bags, and they're only good for maybe keeping out a little bit of dust, maybe keeping out the rain a little bit, not too much, but they're really absolutely no protection from you dropping your binoculars or with the case. It's just a bag, that's all it is, so it's absolutely useless. So maybe you want to make your own binocular case, and hopefully with my video here you'll be able to make one and or repair one that's already existing. So pre-1950 I can see where binocular cases were made of full leather, and I've only actually seen one video on YouTube that shows you how to do that. It's kind of a fast video. I like to make my videos a little bit slow, maybe too slow, but I like to go step by step and show you how things are done. And that video was nice, but I'd rather make one like this. Buying leather is more expensive than making one out of this, even though this is, in a sense, could be more processed. So let's go ahead and skip to the 1970s and 80s. This is a Vivitar, and then that's a Binolux. These inside are actually it's just a particular type of cardboard, a stiff cardboard. If I was to really bend this, it would crease it, and it would look really bad. You can see here where it's sort of like bubbling, because it's kind of like, yeah, it's not doing so well. And the edges are basically heated. The plastic is heated shut. These at least do offer some bit of protection. They do offer some protection. And this one is, and oh, by the way, the material that it's made out of is vinyl. It's got a textured here like alligator or reptile skin, but that's not new. That's very typical, but it is vinyl, and it's like I said, this is just like melted shut. And then you've got your rivets back here, which are basically like these things here. You could buy those online, Tandy Leather. Just the important part is to make sure that this is like long enough to reach through the thickness of your material, because they do come in different lengths here. And this one is also vinyl, but it's a little bit less shiny vinyl, and it actually has smaller, smaller, I don't know, scales, if you want to call it that. Okay, so again, it's all just a particular type of cardboard. I think there's probably more than one for sure. I'm going to show you the one that I think is going to work for me, because I might end up making one just for fun. Now, what we're going to have here is, was more of probably a camera case, and I got it for $5, and it was already kind of damaged, but you can see it was pretty damn big and had big zipper in the middle. And on the inside here, this one is using corduroy, because see all these lines here, that's corduroy material. I've seen corduroy, velvet, and what do you call it, felt, to make the case softer. But on top of here was a piece of leather, which I still have, and this is actually wrapped with leather. This looks like paper. It might not even be leather, but it looks like leather. I don't think, no, it's actually vinyl, I'm sorry. It is vinyl. It's just, this here is just the paper that was stuck to it, or the cardboard. This is all cardboard. With this, it's sort of like two pieces of cardboard, but it's a particular type of cardboard, okay? It isn't like the kind of box cardboard that you can ship something through the mail or whatnot. And so that obviously is stuck to this vinyl, but it's all cardboard. It's all just cardboard. And look how nice and textured it is, but it's all cardboard here, and it's all vinyl. Now, this here as you can see, it's all cardboard. But the way that they do this is you take one piece of cardboard and you sew the one on top, and you get all this piece here. You cut it so that it sits flat, because if they didn't cut it like this, you see how it is cut. The leather, when you go in around corners, what it does, it bunches up. But if you cut it and separate it, it gets all nice and flat. So it's a very typical little trick to use. But they sewed the top to the one cardboard. Then they have a second cardboard. This just got stuck here and glued. It's nothing. Then they have a second piece of cardboard. Okay. Then they have a third piece of cardboard that had the velvet on it, or not the velvet, the corduroy, the fabric on it already. And then, of course, all of that is just glued together to give you a very, very hard top. Now, this cardboard here could be more than one layer. Okay, it could always be more than one layer. And we're going to show you in a minute here. Okay, and then you put the... I did this. It was real hokey. You know, it was very, very cheap hokey. I did all this. Very, very, very cheap hokey. Not compared to the other one that I'll show you in a minute. And so again, this is all just cardboard up here. See how it's more than one piece? Okay, it's definitely more than one piece. You have a thin type of cardboard, the fabric, and then a thicker type of cardboard. But as you can see, it's not exactly super thick. It might actually be more than one. If you look through it, it's more than one piled up on top of each other. Now, the cardboard that I'm going to say that it is, before we look at these other binocular cases, the more super popular, well-known ones that I think are really the nice ones, I'm going to show you the cardboard that I think that they're using, or a type of cardboard that they're using. This, as you can see, is quite stiff. It could be about a 1/16 of an inch thick. That one, of course, you saw that it was much thicker. This cardboard here is not poster board. The poster board is much thinner and flimsier. This is actually what you call matte board. And for those of you who know about photography, this is the board that you put your picture on when you put it in the picture frame. So in particular, what's important about this piece of type of cardboard here, the matte board, is that it's actually acid free. They take out all the chemicals like that to help it last longer. But also, when it comes to photography, pictures and prints, if you have something that's acidic, it can eat the photograph in time. It can take a long time, but eventually it can eat it, start to damage the colorized picture, even black and white. And so this acid-free matte board is actually what they would probably be using, because it is kind of stiff, but it is thin. So we're gonna check into that in a little bit. Now, as I was mentioning something here, multiple layers. Now, you could say to yourself, okay, so why not? What I'm gonna show you here with this board, with this paper or this cardboard, which is matte board. Why are they doing this, right? First of all, I think it's a bit easy to understand that you can't sew all the way through, especially like at an angle. You can't sew it at an angle, but you can sew down from the top piece of leather or plywood, the vinyl on a piece of cardboard down into one, because otherwise they would come out the bottom, and that's an individual piece. And so you add the other two, instead of just putting the fabric onto this first one, because you could put the fabric right here, right? I don't understand, why did they put all this when you could just put that fabric here? Well, what happens is this: when you have multiple layers of something, it isn't just about having it thick. Otherwise, you know, when it comes to leather like this, why is this multiple cardboard? Why is it multiple? Well, when you add multiple layers of something, they work against each other. When you have one piece of leather like this, okay, you have one piece of leather like this, and you fold it and you bend it, well, it all wants to work together to do what it wants to. If it's something stiff, it wants to be straight. And so when you have one piece, it fights you as one piece. When you have two pieces, okay, when you have two pieces, they work against each other. They fight against each other. And that is basically what you're seeing when it comes to like cardboard that makes it stiff, even though it is quite thin. It is quite thin. The fabric is soft, so it doesn't offer a whole lot of resistance. But if you put multiple layers of cardboard, for example, okay, so here's a good example of one inside of the other, and it fits very nicely. There's no spaces in between, okay? But if you were to separate them, okay, and you put one to the other, look how much extra you have. Not a whole lot. Oh, no, wait, we do have a whole lot. Look. Okay, so here's this, and here's that. Okay, so this is, all this extra piece right here is what comes out when you lay them flat. But when you're in a circle, you saw that they were all very nicely fitting with each other. So that basically means this. Instead of having one big thick piece, you've got two pieces that are fighting against each other, which makes things more rigid. It makes things more sturdy and thicker without it being one piece. So multiple layers work in this manner, and so this is why you see cases like this, and like I'm going to show you these here. This one is really stiff, this one's really stiff, this one's a little bit softer, and I have another one that's even much softer. But so this is why you're going to see multiple layers of cardboard. Now if you look at this vinyl here, look at this thing. It's super thin, super thin. I mean, it's all, oh my goodness, it's super thin. But this part right here, this like sort of a, I don't know, light tan, very light tan, that's actually part of the fabric of this material. Basically, what you're looking at is going to be this. Okay. Now this here is vinyl, but this is a little bit fancier. It's a little bit thicker material. There is some that's gray on the back, so it'll be thinner. They also call it marine or upholstery. So it does really good. It's not leather, but it looks like leather. This is what you see here. And so these here, so that's all what this is here, one whole piece. And you can see in the back. Look how thin that is. It's not leather. And look at it, it's falling apart here. But the fabric is still stuck onto the cardboard that's back there. Because this is going to be some sort of a cardboard back here as well. You can see that that's cardboard here. Okay. And of course this has cardboard in it as well. And of course you've got more corduroy type of material, you know, with the lines like that. And you've got, again, you've got this kind of a rivet, double cap. Again, double cap rivets in here. Double cap rivets right here. There's some tools that you can use to keep it a little bit round. Otherwise, when you hit it, of course, it's going to get all flat. Let's see here. And you can see inside here, you've got those little steps in there, which I'm going to show you. And something curious. You see that little right there? Okay. Japan. Yeah, made in Japan, I know. And see this little dome there? I'll show you in a minute what that is. So all this is just vinyl over a certain amount of cardboard. Look how stiff this is. It's very stiff. Okay. And it's not very thick, but it's definitely more than 1/8 for sure. So it's definitely several layers of different cardboards. And that if you put them together, like I said, they'll work together to not be so flimsy. Now this here again is more cardboard, okay, and this, I don't know, probably 50s or something. But like for example, you saw this piece. This actually, this corduroy, is actually one. It's glued in there, so you can't take it out. But this is an individual piece by itself. If you were to take that out, you would be exposing. You'd be exposing this and the stitching that you would see, and you could see how thick they would make it, because this was done. This is machine, obviously machine done, without it being pinched. Because sometimes when you use a machine on these things, you can pinch really the leather. And I've seen videos on people who have some homemade stuff or whatever, and it's really pinched. This is, of course, in here there's actually springs, little, you can barely see right there. Let me see here, let me stretch it out. You see, can you see that little silver part right there in the corner? That's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 springs wrapped in faux leather, I guess. Yeah, because it's not real leather. But yeah, this one isn't either. It's not full. This is a Yamatar. Is this the Yamatar? Is this my? Oh yeah, this is my Yamatar. These are fancy. Yeah, these are nice. Nice binoculars. Very nice binoculars. And of course, you've got your more of these same snaps, or these end cap, double end cap rivets. Same thing, double end cap rivets. All covered with this. It's again vinyl, but it's got textured little dots. Kind of makes it look like it was leather. Now I'm going to show you this one here, and I'm very proud of this one here. Very proud. So I had to replace a couple of the things here. This one was all falling apart. This one was right here. And let me show you what I did. Let me take this off. So I made this strap also. Very thin, but sometimes that's how they were. They weren't always thick. So this is that. Then I replaced it, and as you can see, it's textured. And the reason it's textured is I took a piece of leather, and on the rough side I put this material on it, and my Vinyl Lux. Then I removed this very similar World War II or 1920, pre-1920, 1923. No, this is pre-World War I faux snap. Yeah, it's not exactly the military style, but it's basically wanted it to look like a military style. But this is probably like 1950s, I think. So I did all that, you know, and I sewed it just because that's how it had it, and made it look nice. Makes it look nice. Now, I don't know why they have binoculars like this though. That I don't understand, because they're so difficult to get them out. It's so difficult to get these things out of there. And let me see here. And let's see. So, inside here, you see that little step there? And it's right here. Now you remember the other binoculars I showed you, that little weird little dot there on the side? That's what that is. It's just basically one nail. And it's right there. So I nailed that back in there. And that's all it is. Maybe it has some glue on it, but it's just a light piece of wood, not very heavy, very light. I don't know too much about wood at all, okay? So for those of you who are wood enthusiasts, you know, maple and oak and cedar, this, that, and the other, you guys know about that. I don't know. So this one would sit inside, of course, and the binocular sits on this, and it means that the actual binoculars do not touch the bottom of the case, so they're just resting on this, and that's what they're there for. So I'm going to leave that. I'll put that after I'm done with this video. Now, another thing that I repaired were these here. They were very tight, and that's another reason why I made this leather strap very thin, and it's not supposed to go through a lot of stress, so it should be okay. And as you can see, I have two pieces of leather, one regular one, and then of course again I have this material that I cut and glued with cement, rubber cement. I glued those on there, and it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty darn good. I left that there, And you can see again here, this looks like one piece. This is like one piece, kind of hard to tell. You know, this might even be like a balsa wood or some sort of a wood for hobbyists out there who do airplane stuff. I used to do model airplanes, and the hobby stores would have that kind of stuff. It's flexible, but I have to do more investigation on it and see if this mat board is too soft for this. But I'd look into it. And I'm thinking about making one, like I said, just for the heck of it, because I've got a bunch of other binoculars that need cases, or maybe I'll just buy some and repair them. But in any case, this stuff is really doable. Now, to glue this kind of material onto the cardboard there, you could use something called a Mod Podge. It's there's plenty of videos on YouTube about it, but this fabric, supposedly you can glue that onto the cardboard, and all this fabric can be glued together using the Mod Podge. So if I make one, I'll definitely make a video for it, but I think it came out pretty good. And I gotta put that back in there, and then, you know, run the strap through it, and, hand stitch that. That was nothing, just hand stitch that. So in any case, you know, a lot of these binocular cases, even though, for example, the Yamatar is supposed to be one of the fancy ones, I'm not sure if that binocular case is the original one, but it came with the box, so I mean, I still have the box for that thing. And these Binoculars here are also very, very, very beautiful. Great color. I mean, a great view. Very clean stuff. It's a very good binocular. These older ones, the older Binoculars. But so hopefully, if you guys are interested in making some of these, you'll understand like what's going on with binocular cases. Probably those people like me that are curious about everything. You know, I was the kind of guy who was the kind of kid who would take apart a radio and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's so what do I do now? Because I can't put it back together." So that's why I kind of do this kind of stuff, because it's kind of fun and keeps me out of trouble. And you know, binocular cases they're readily available, pretty cheap, I think. And in any case, hopefully I'll make a video on how to make one actually, and sometime soon. And I've got some reviews on some of these antique or vintage binoculars that I want to do as well, like the Binocular series. I'm waiting for one to show up in the mail. I've already got I got 2 of them. But in any case, hopefully my video is interesting for those of you who like to build one and maybe try and put one together. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next time.